Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is Yahweh Sop, and today's lesson is entitled, Agree with Thine Adversaries Quickly. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High, and teach the gospel preach. So with it being the so-called new year, it's always good to revisit these different topics that we have once covered. All right. And one of which is agreeing, with the authority. All right. And that's one of the teachings that Yahweh Shai instructed, all right, his men when he sent them out to go and preach in the various cities and villages. And we being the Lord's disciples today, that knowledge, that wisdom is given for us as well. All right. And as we get closer and closer to the end, there's going to be a lot of judgments that's going out. In Matthew, the 24th chapter speaks about the love of many waxing cold. So you're going to have a lot of people just having that cold spirit. And that's not, just limited to these niggas out here on the streets. It's these people that's working these jobs, law enforcement, the police, the sheriffs, various police agencies, with cost of living continually increasing. People is dealing with, different financial crisis. People are on edge. You got a lot of these people juiced up. A lot of these people on drugs and antidepressants and all types of different, mind-altering substances. You out there, running your errands and, doing particular things of the world, you have to walk with wisdom, especially when you're encountering the sword. All right. Esau is ready, to put a bullet in Jake. And we see it time after time when Jake gets pulled over, you want to buck up against law enforcement. And next thing you know, there's an Israelite that was put down. At the end of the day, the Lord, all right, put the spirit on these police officers to bring judgment. But when we see these videos, it's just a healthy reminder that, when you out there doing your one and your two, make sure you using wisdom. All right. So I got this video here. I'm gonna play it. It's 2 minutes, just under 3 minutes long. We'll play it and then we're gonna hit the precepts. And once again, Lord willing, be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Tune in.
You take off in this car, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna make it super easy on you. You put this car in drive, you're getting one right to the chest.
An LASD deputy threatens to shoot an unarmed black man while he is parked in his car in Gardena. The sheriff's department released that body cam video in an effort to be transparent.
The video has gone viral, sparking public outrage and concern. KTLA 5's Rick Chambers is live in Gardena where it all happened. Rick.
Yeah, Pedro, that man that you see in the video there is said to be a rapper whose stage name is Feezy LeBron. Now, this is a pretty busy little parking lot here, too. There's two very popular weed dispensaries at the other end, and people are coming and going all the time. Now, this particular man was sitting in his car on his phone when the deputies approached. Take a look.
What are you doing? Stop.
It was just before 6 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Rapper Feezy LeBron is sitting in his car in this Gardena parking lot along Crenshaw Boulevard when passing LA County deputies stop and demand that he get out.
All right, I'm just gonna spray you. Get out. Get out or you're getting sprayed. Get out or you're getting sprayed. Get out.
This body cam footage shows one deputy standing off to the right as the other threatens to.
And you heard what the officer asked him. He told him to get out, and then this rapper, all right, said, "Get out for what?" All right, that automatically puts Esau in a position where he's ready to use his weapons. All right, Esau was blessed with the sword. The modern day sword is ultimately the ICBM missiles, but Esau and these guns, whatever weapons that he can get his hands on, Esau, it's in his spirit to want to use it against Jake. You understand? So let's keep tuning in.
Spray the rapper with a chemical if he stays in the car. Then suddenly, it escalates.
You take off in this car, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna make it super easy on you. You put this car in drive, you're getting one wipe to the chest. I don't care what you got. I don't care if you got on you. But guess what, bro? Now you got to deal with it. But if you pull some you're gonna take one to the chest.
You see the language Esau coming with? And this is the same man. This is the same spirits.
With his hands.
This is the same spirits that's seeing bosses at work. This is the same spirit that's in, these government officials, these high-ranking Edomites. All right. But see, what Esau does is he hides it. He hides that anger. Let's get a precept real quick. We're going to keep playing the video, but let's get a precept. All right. We're going to go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Ecclesiastes is an apocrypha. Apocrypha is a part of the Bible. All right, for you newly tuning in, Akin, when you see bros out there on the highways and the byways with the red book, that's the apocrypha. That's the standalone apocrypha. There's some King James 1611 Bibles you can purchase with the apocrypha in it. But if you don't have the apocrypha, you don't have a whole Bible. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemies. And when you read Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, it speaks about how we were sold to our enemies. All right. For bondmen and bondmaids. So never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And with iron, no matter how you try to clean it up, whether you're using machines and different tools and you putting different coatings on it, all right, rust will always come back. So it's just embedded into Esau to have this wickedness towards Jake. Though he humble himself and go crouching, an example of these Edomites humbling themselves and going crouching, pushing the whole vibration of I got black friends. I listen to Ice Cube. I've been to Coolio concerts. You understand? I like Chingy. They trying to be cool. They humbling themselves. They going crouching. Yet take good heed. That's when you're supposed to be paying attention, because it's not in his nature to be cool with Jacob. Going back to the womb, when you read in Genesis the 25th chapter, where the twins were inside of Rebecca's womb, they was fighting. That ongoing hatred. We're gonna always be at odds with these Edomites, but now, since they're in power, the Lord has given us wisdom to navigate in this system that's ruled by them. It says, yet take good heed, pay attention, and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, a mirror. You know how you get out the shower and the mirror's fogged up. You may want to, see yourself, so you wipe the foggy mirror. You may wipe it away, right? You wipe the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So just as you wipe that mirror, to eliminate the steam that was accumulated on that looking glass or that mirror, and then seconds later it comes back, that's how Esau wickedness is. So he can hide it, but then it comes back. It says, set him not by thee. Don't be making deals with him. And we see Jakes, when they get into the entertainment world, they set Esau by them. You make deals with them, they make covenants with them, make alliances and treaties with them. They sign these different contracts. It says, least when he overthrow thee, he finessed you, right? He stand up in thy place. He end up taking your position. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, putting him close to you. You know, you voting for him to be your presidents. You voting for him to be your mayors and your governors and your politicians. Being cool and close with the boss at work. It says, "Least he seek to take thy seat, they take what you got or use you, and at the last, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith." Yeah, you end up remembering, man, the scriptures did say never trust my enemies, man. Damn. You know, who will pity a charmer that is bit by a serpent? All right. And that serpent-like spirit is in these Edomites. They ready to deceive, they ready to supplant, they ready to lie and do tricks and all that. Just like that serpent-like man did to Eve in the garden. You know, he deceived her into following after the wisdom that was, you know, amongst, you know, the nations at that time. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten by with a serpent? You playing with these devils and you get bit by them, ain't nobody gonna pity you because the instructions went out. Never trust thy enemy, or any such as come nigh wild beasts. So one that go up to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? All right. So in order to, you know, dwell safely, you got to be applying the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding here in Babylon the Great. Let's finish this out and then we're going to get some more precepts to in.
Raised, the rapper asks, why do you want to shoot me?
You gonna comply or no? Comply what? If you move your hands from right there, you're in trouble. So you gonna shoot me? I'm sitting in the damn car, bro.
At this point, the deputy calls for backup.
Move your hands from right there, and you're done.
So I'm under arrest for what, bro?
You are most definitely 1,050% detained.
Feezy is told.
And now look at his lifestyle. All right. In Matthew, the 7th chapter, speaks about a tree may be known by its fruit. And shalom to the Akim and the Akwaf that's listening. You know, Matthew, the 7th chapter, speaks about a tree may be known by its fruit. So he said he was a rapper out here in LA in the Gardena area. So look what he into.
That if he doesn't comply with the deputies, he'll be arrested and his car towed. He decides to get out.
Because right now you already resisted my partner by ripping your hand away.
Your partner came and opened my damn door by himself.
Step out and comply to him.
Your partner came and opened my damn door.
Newly elected sheriff.
And you Jakes, you don't have power in this system. You know, you don't have that power where you can buck up against law enforcement. All right. And then with, you know, that black culture heavily exalted in this world, you know, these police, when they pull you over, they already prejudging you. You know, it's a nigga with dreads, tattoos, he in a brand new Beamer, he outside of a weed spot. I'm pretty sure he's armed and dangerous. So when these police officers get out the car, they already on 10. And then when they approach you, you talking about, you know, get out the car for what? You know, the first thing they're gonna do is grab their pistol, because these officers, they terrified of Jake. You know, they see the different stuff that Jake be into on these music videos and all that. That whole drill music and how they ride, you know, how Jake ride, always got it on them, so on and so forth. So, you know, when they be having their little weekly meetings or they police and sheriff's meetings before y'all go out in the field, what you think they talking about? You know, they watching videos and all that. Look, you know, this is what we up against. This is who we dealing with. You know, and they got the statistics. They got the data. You know, 8, 9 times out of 10, when you pull somebody over in this zip code that fits this description, 9 times out of 10, you can find a weapon and drugs on them or a felony or something. So when the police hop out the car, they're already on the level. You know, so that's pretty much it of that video. So let's get this in Matthew, the 5th chapter. We're going to start at the 21st verse. And as I was mentioning earlier, you know, when Yahweh Shai, you know, sent out his men, he was giving them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, instructions to know how to deal, you know, with these people that they're going to be encountering when they're in public. All right. Personal relationships. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, which this is going into murder or premeditated. It says, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. All right, you murder somebody, you'll get put to death. That what a man soweth, is that what he shall reap. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother, this is talking about a brother in the truth, a fellow yokeman, without a cause shall be in danger of judgment. You mad at brothers for no apparent reason, the Lord is going to judge you. And that's probably why you seeing that sifting going on. It's probably men that's just secretly angry with their the men that's in the truth. They holding grudges. They don't like, the particular gift that the Most High gave them. So a lot of jealousy happened and envy and all that. So they end up getting that judgment. They end up getting sifted out. It says, whosoever shall be Slakia, and whosoever shall say to his brother, once again, a brother that's in the faith, a yoke fellow, Rakah, which this is like so-called bad word back in the day, shall be in danger of the council. Matter of fact, let's go into it real quick. Just like we got, terms that we use and we call these niggas today, that same vibration was back then. So you don't want to be calling your bros that you laboring with, oh, these is niggas. Oh, this motherfucker. You don't address men of the Lord like that. You don't know who you talk to in the spirit. Rakah goes back to a senseless, empty-headed man. Like I said, it was so-called, as they say today, curse words. You cussing the brother out, and this is a brother and that's in the faith. Shall be in danger of the council, but whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of the hellfire. So you got to watch how you talking to bros. All right. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar is where you go out and teach. The gift is whatever measurement of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Lord has blessed you with. And there remember is that thy brother have an ought against thee. So sometimes you got problems. You may have a situation with a brother, that you labor with and you push the doctrine with. It happens. All right. Brothers got different spirits and sometimes spirits clash. So if you got a situation with a brother, it's best to clear that up, before you push the truth. All right. It says, leave thy gift before the altar and go thy way, separate. First be reconciled to thy brother, y'all squash the beef, and then come and offer thy gift. Then y'all can push the truth. Then y'all can teach. All right. You don't want to be, having that spirit and, of having alts with brothers and then teaching, it just ain't going to flow well. Here's the point. Verse 25, agree with thine adversaries quickly. Esau is the top adversary. All right. When you read in Psalm, the 83rd chapter, the first nation that's amongst the enemies of Jacob is Esau, the tabernacles of Edom. Once again, agree with thine adversaries quickly. Let's look up this word quickly real quick. And this is to the newly tuning in, Akim. This is the Blue Letter Bible, which allows you to go into the languages that the Bible is translated from our elders and apostles of Great Millstone put us on. So quickly, speedily, without delay. All right. If you're faced with law enforcement and you gotta, you faced with police, coming and all that, it's best to, hey, officer, you want me to get out? All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and exit. I'm gonna grab my license, my registration. Is that cool? So on and so forth. All right, like I said, these officers, they on 10. They working 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week. They drinking all kind of coffee, like I said earlier, antidepressants. They on meds. They, juiced up out there. And they thrive. They love working in the hood. Like I said, this is Gardena. This is the hood. So they love working in areas where Jake at. That's where the action at. They don't. You think these Edomites enjoy working in affluent white neighborhoods where there's no action? They want to go where the action at. They want to go where it's crime. They want to be able to pull out their sword and bend the law a little bit and get away with it. So they love being over here with Jake at. You understand? So let's continue reading in Matthew 5 and 25 real quick. Agree with thine adversaries quickly. You hurry up. While thou art in the way of him, least at any time the adversaries deliver thee up to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officers, and thou be cast into prison. Because if you don't agree, things can escalate quickly. And we see it time after time. Jake ended up getting blown away. Luckily, this dude, he didn't get put to death. They ended up letting him go. But if he would have just obeyed and said, hey, let me hop out, here go my license registration. What you doing over here? I'm at the weed spot. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. I'm in it, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. They could have let him go. He didn't have to go through this whole, humiliation with getting the gun pulled out on you, and video tapes, hit the public, so on and so forth. All right. Verse 26, verily I say unto you, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the utmost farthing. So it's just best to agree. A lot of times, there's been times I got pulled over. I applied this knowledge, this wisdom, the understanding, and I've been let off the hook, or you get your ticket and you move on. It's better to just get a ticket and pay it versus trying to buck up and speak about how you got law. I mean, how you got rights and all this, and you're just trying to challenge these police officers. You're going to find yourself in a bad situation. This is Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter. Point is in 13. I'm gonna start up a little bit. Verse 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner. A lot of these jakes out here, they doing a lot of finessing. They doing a lot of evil shit, and they getting gained by it. So you don't want to be the individual that's seeing or hearing your family members prospering and wickedness and all that, and then you start envying. Because at the end of the day, they getting it, unjust. It says, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. They end up getting judged. The wages of sin is death. It says, delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in. What does the ungodly have pleasure in? Wickedness. This truth calls us to come out of the world and be conformed and be converted and be washed. So we no longer have these past lifestyles that we had when we was in the world. We are a new creature. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave. Yeah, the Lord gonna make his visitation. Here's a point, verse 13. Keep thee far from the man that hath power to kill. That's Esau. When you read in Revelation 6, it speaks about that red horse, which is talking about Esau. It speaks about how power was given unto him to take peace from the earth. So Esau, he in a power seat. He got the power to kill and get away with it. So how do you keep yourself far from that? Well, you apply the wisdom. See, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding is supposed to give us life. It's supposed to add years to us. It says it in the Apocrypha. I mean, the Proverbs 3:1, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments, the instructions. And the commandments don't stop just at what Moses gave us. It's commandments all throughout the Bible, For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. So when you utilize Matthew 5 and 25, agree with thine adversaries quickly, what that does is that lengthen your days. You hear a lot of stories of these jakes. Some spam on the comment board. Let me block this user. You hear a lot of jakes who have these encounters with law enforcement and their days get cut short. They die at 20, they dying at 16, they dying at 18 because they're not utilizing the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Spiritually, they forgot the law. They're not keeping the instructions. For length of days and long life and peace, he would have been in more of a peaceful case had he just agreed, you know, got his hands up, lights all in his face. You know, this guy, his finger is on the trigger. He ready to squeeze. Look at his buddy. And you see the demons all on these dudes' face, man. The spiritual demon Satan is working on the minds of the sheriffs, man. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck and write them upon the tables of thy heart. So you want to have this knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding pretty much engraved into your mind. All right. Let me see. When a man's ways. Let me see if I can find this other precept. When a man ways please the Lord. Please. You know how it is on the blue letter. You got to be on point. This is Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, what is the example of a man ways pleasing the Lord? This man is dealing with the truth. He's applying what he's reading in the scripts. When a man ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So if he would apply Matthew 5:25, according to what's written here, his enemies would have been at peace with him. You know, they wouldn't have categorized him as, you know, as a threat or a knucklehead or whatever. Oh man, this dude cool, man. He's compliant. You know, he didn't give me a hard time. Hey man, you know what? Here's your ID. Here's your registration. Here's your insurance. Have a good night. Be safe. You know, and I've experienced that. Back in Ecclesiastes 9:13, keep thee far from the man that have power to kill. And you do that by applying the truth. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death, because death, we're in the valley of the shadow of death. You know, Esau in the power seat here, he's ready to kill Jake. And if thou come unto him, make no fault. And what he was doing, he was making faults, bucking up. Get out for what? What I got to get out for? What y'all pulling me over for? Get that light out my face. What? What's up? He making faults. Make no faults, lest he take away thy life presently. See, this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, these precepts, don't apply to gooks, you know, the Chinese, the Japs. This don't apply to East Indians. You don't hear about these other nations dealing with stuff like that, like this. You know, Ishmael, the Assyrians, Hamites, you know, all these various nations, they don't deal with this. They don't be in a position where they fear their life. They doubt the fear of death, and their life can be taken away presently. They're not in those situations. But you Israelites are, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It says, remember that thou goest in the midst of snares. You know, these officers, they lay in wait trying to catch Jacob, you know, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. So we in a dangerous place to fall. As near as thou canst, guess at thy neighbor and consult with the wise. All right. So, all right, just a healthy dose of, you know, making sure you're applying the wisdom when you out here in Babylon the Great, man. You know, these people is juiced up. They ready to, you know, pull the trigger. So apply the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. We read it in Proverbs, the 3rd chapter. You know, it length of days is with this truth. All right. Once again, Proverbs 3:1, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. All right. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't stop at the law, the statutes, and commandments. It's knowledge and wisdom all throughout the scripts. We read some of them in Ecclesiastes 9:13. It says, For length of days and long life and peace shall they add unto thee. By applying the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding, you know, especially when you're in the face of your adversary or your enemies, you know, you apply it, you know, length of days will be added to you, long life will be added to you, peace will be added to you. But if you're not utilizing it, you're going to find yourself like this rapper, you know, staring down the barrel of a pistol in fear of his life. So I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, you are edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I want to give double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone that taught us this truth, and Shalom.